We are indoors today because it's pouring rain outside this morning. If you are a woman in midlife, hate that word, but if you're a woman in midlife who is looking for a way to be healthy, to be able to be happy, to be your best self, know that you are not alone. This is your spot. I have experienced menopause that hit me out of nowhere, and I really didn't know what it was that I was experiencing. I'm sure many women who are experiencing menopause feel the same thing. But our goal here every Saturday is to have an accountability meeting where I hold myself accountable. You can check in and let us know what worked for you this week, what did not, and what do you want to do better this week. You are not alone. Let's do this together. And as always, we are doing this with honesty, with grace, and we are never doing it with shame. We are not about shaming. We are about being truthful and being honest, and I try to do as few edits as possible so that you can see that I muck everything up and I mess it up just like anyone else. So let's just be real and let's be accountable and let's get into it. I'm going to exercise today, doing my squats, doing my weights, and then doing my stretching. So I'm just going to do a little bit here on camera. You don't need to watch the whole thing. I am not an exercise expert, so you can watch other people who do it 10 times better. But again, I want to be real about who I am and what I'm actually doing. Okay, so you didn't have to watch the entire thing, my 15 minutes of doing that, because again, you can find somebody online who is much better at it and who actually is a fitness expert. I am not. I'm just doing what works for me. So let's talk about my wins for the week. Number one win, even though it's pouring outside and even though it's icky, icky, gross, I'm committed to doing this every day. I have done it every day and I'm doing it inside today. So even though I have to take my little walks because Windsor has to go out, aside from that, I usually like to take a very long walk. I wasn't able to do that today, but I'm still moving. I'm sticking to the exercise routine that I committed to, the squats, the weight training, and the stretching. Weight training is a strong word. Very teeny tiny weights, but that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to keep doing that at least a few times a week, do my long walks. I did that this week. I'm very proud of myself. So tell me what your wins were. What small win did you have this week? Were you consistent? Were you able to pick up a set of weights? Were you able to get out there and walk? What was your accomplishment? Drop it in the comments. Let's all support each other. Only positive comments, please. My second big win, second big win for the week was I am down just over 3 pounds. Yay! So while the number on the scale is not everything for sure, it is an indicator, right? It's just a way that we can measure how it is that we're doing, aside from every day being consistent, right? You can tick off on your calendar Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on, but seeing it on the scale, registering actually is just so meaningful to me. I'm not looking for a perfect number. What I'm looking for is to slim down, to be healthier. And I know anyone who knows, I'm sure a lot of you women know, from the Barbie movie, the famous sort of monologue by America Ferrara, where she was talking about, women have to be perfect, right? We have to be everything, but we have to be in the background. We have to, be rich, but we can't ask for money, those kind of things. Really, really powerful messaging. And one of the messages was, we need to be skinny, but we don't want to say we want to be skinny. We have to say that we want to be healthy. However, we really do mean that we have to be skinny. So skinny has never been, like literally never since the time I was a child, been a word that's been in my repertoire. So that is not a goal of mine. However, it's all relative, right? It's all relative. What does health mean to you? Does it mean slimming down? For me, absolutely it does. Because the truth is that is just healthier. It doesn't mean being skinny. It means showing up and being consistent. So drop a comment. What were your wins this week? My two big ones were being consistent, showing up every day and doing my walks, doing my exercises, and losing 3 pounds. So I would like to say that the correlation is pretty direct. Showing up every day, doing what I had to do, caused the 3 pounds, right? It was correlated to that. And hopefully next week will be even better. So let's hear what your successes are. Now let's talk about some of the challenges. Some of the challenges were that some days I did intend to walk longer. I did intend to sometimes walk, even if I didn't walk as long in the morning, take an evening walk. Sometimes I failed in that. By the time I'm done with work, and then the heat, and then the bugs, and then getting out of my work clothes and getting in, washing my face and doing all of that and kind of getting out of that and getting into exercise clothes to get out again to walk, those are just excuses for sure. I'm saying this out loud. Those are just excuses. However, it did just feel a little like, I don't want to do that. So I would just stretch at night instead. And that's okay, because sometimes we set goals that maybe are too big. So I'm going to reassess that going forward. I don't think I'm going to set that as a goal for this week. I do think that's too much. It's just something that if I dread it, I'm not going to do it. And then if I continue to be disappointed in myself, I might lose motivation, and I don't want to do that. I know that every morning is the best time for me because I can get out there and get growth and be sweaty and be very vulnerable and real with you. But then I can shower it off, get dressed, put my exterior face on, and show myself to the world when I go to work. I think that that's just going to work better for me. And then keep my evening routine of stretching and some meditation that we'll talk about another time, and get a good night's sleep and do it all over again the next day. That's the best I can do. So that was a little bit of a disappointment that I set that goal to do it in the evening and I didn't do it. Another disappointment, I don't know how to say it because it wasn't a failure, but I love coffee. I love coffee. I love caffeine. And I'm going to say, right, I'm no doctor. I'm not an addiction expert, but I'm addicted to coffee. That's just the truth. I have one every single morning, and if I don't have it, I for sure feel it. My head hurts, I get cranky, I get irritable, absolutely. And my plan was, and I always have at least 2 cups. I have my cup in the morning, and then I have my cup at lunchtime or before lunchtime. My goal was to cut back on, and then sometimes afterwards. Oh, it's shameful. It's shameful, but I always have 2, sometimes 3. So my goal was have your morning coffee, then in the afternoon, have a half a cup. And then maybe I would do that for a week, and then the following week, then I can start to wean it down a little bit. I not only didn't meet that target, I kind of blew past it. I think that I drank 3 cups of coffee every day this week, and if not every day, pretty close to it. So I did not do well there. So I'm going to try to focus this week on staying consistent with what I'm doing and work on my coffee goals. Got to get rid of that 3rd cup. Got to get rid of it. If I can get rid of the 3rd cup, then maybe I can start going down on that 2nd cup. So let's hear about things that didn't work that well for you. Let's hear it, and let's all support each other and give each other tips on ways that maybe we can do better. I don't know if you have any tips, any helpful advice on how I can kick this caffeine addiction without necessarily giving up coffee altogether. I actually enjoy drinking coffee. I love the smell of coffee. I love everything about it. But I do need to cut back. I do. So I'd like to hear any tips that you have on that. So now let's talk about some things that maybe keep you going and keep you motivated and are going to keep you motivated for the coming week. So for me, number 1 is just knowing that my health means everything. What do we have if we don't have our health, right? So having a really healthy outlook in my mind, to have a healthy body in my 50s and beyond, that's really important. Because if I'm not active and I'm not actively pursuing being healthy and moving every day and getting out there and moving my body and doing something physical, then I know that I'm just going to feel like rubbish. I ache when I get up. I, feel the crick in my back if I get up from a chair. I don't sleep well. I start to eat once that sliding scale starts. When I start to eat something that's a little crummy, it's downhill from there. Once I miss a day of not walking, it's all downhill from there. So knowing that my health means everything to me, what do we have if we don't have it? I know that I need to keep that up. I know that I need to do that every day so I don't feel those pains when I'm standing up, so I don't lose sleep. So my health is really what keeps me going. And knowing that I can't bounce back the way I used to. Oh my gosh, for sure you cannot. I know I cannot. I cannot bounce back the way I could in my 30s and 40s. And honestly, even like going into my 50s, I was able to bounce back a lot quicker. I can't do that anymore. So that's my biggest motivator. My other one, honestly, is Windsor, right? Because he needs to get out and he loves walking. He loves exploring. He loves going. And even for an old puppy, he's 13 and a half now, and he can go. So he keeps me motivated. It's like, okay, you want to keep exploring? Let's do it. So as long as we have the time, we're doing it. And he loves it. He wants to keep going, and it's good for him. This is what's kept him so healthy, him being able to get out and exercise. So Windsor's my other motivator. And my third one, and what I'm really looking forward to building here, is YouTube, this community, and just building something where we can support each other. Because I really think that we need people in our lives who are going to be our cheerleaders, who are going to be our support system, and they are actually going to call us out when we're not doing something right. So let's all be here to support each other, help each other, and call each other out when we need to improve in a kind way, right? That's what it's about. It's about being kind to each other and certainly being kind to ourselves. Don't beat yourself up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall down flat. I do it all the time. We do not learn unless we make a mistake, unless we mess up, unless we fail. So let's all support each other. Tell me, what are your support systems? What is it that you have that helps you stay motivated, that keeps you going? And I want to hear what everyone's thoughts are for the upcoming week. What do you want to do this week? What do you want to accomplish this week? What's going to keep you motivated this week? And maybe what is it that you want to hear next week as far as our Slimdown Saturday or our Accountability Saturday, whatever we want to call it, when we have our weekly meetings? What is it that you want to hear? Is there anything that you want to discuss? Is there anything that you might want suggestions on? If I have them, I'm going to give them. And if not, I'm going to ask everyone else to share. Thank you so much for being here. And whether you are just starting your own journey, whether you're watching mine to kind of get motivated, welcome. And next week, I'm thinking about talking about meal prep and how I'm trying to keep things as simple as possible. I'm still playing with that idea, but I'm not a big cook, but I am thinking about doing that because I do try to do that every week, do our meal prep throughout the week so that I don't have to do it every day. So I'm thinking maybe that's something we'll talk about next week. Thanks so much for joining me on Fab 50s Florida, everyone. Please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget, be happy, be healthy, be wealthy. See you tomorrow.